there's actually been such a big reaction from you guys listening this morning on what Gareth Southgate said on Tuesday. He's been speaking that he fears that young men are spending too much time gaming, gambling and watching pornography, and saying that they need better role models beyond online influencers. Here, if you missed it, is Southgate speaking at the Richard Dembleby lecture on the BBC on Tuesday.
As real-world communities and mentorship declines, young men end up withdrawing, reluctant to talk or express their emotions. They spend more time online searching for direction and are falling into unhealthy alternatives like gaming, gambling and pornography. We need leaders to set the right tone, to be the role models we want for our young men. We have to show young men that character is more important than status, that how you treat others is more important than how much money you make, that values matter, courage, humility and integrity over selfishness, greed, arrogance. The culture we create today will shape the kind of men that we inherit tomorrow.
Gareth Southgate speaking at the Richard Dembleby lecture on the BBC on Tuesday. Really powerful stuff. And Gareth Southgate, to be fair to him, all of the words that have come out of his mouth, he backs up 100%.
Oh, 100%.
He is that guy. He's a good role model. And you think of Gareth Southgate, we talk about the England squad, obviously the former manager there. Gabby, when you were a player, did you ever feel there was pressure to be a role model?
No, and I didn't feel like I had to be one. Do you know what I mean? I was a real party boy. I used to be out every weekend, sometimes twice a week. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't in my mind to be a role model. It was in my mind to be trying to do your best as a footballer and enjoy life. Do you know what I mean? But the older I've got now, after retiring, having my own kids and seeing how much they look up to footballers, then if I knew that at the time, maybe I would have been different and been trying to be more of a role model.
Yeah, I think it's really incredible that when we speak about footballers, we always highlight the negatives.
Yeah.
Always, whereas actually there's so many positive role models out there in football
Yes.
that sometimes don't get that moment in the sun that they deserve away from the pitch. You know, they're always criticised for maybe a mistake that they might make, like going out and maybe having a drink, as if that's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Whereas those players could be given so much to charity and working with those with disabilities or anything like that, and we don't really focus on that. Lots of you getting in touch with this morning. 03717 223344. Good morning to Sam. Sam, how are you today? You okay?
Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Gabby.
Morning.
Good morning. Thanks very much for giving us a call. What's your thoughts on this in footballers and role models? Is it down to them to have more of a say in this, or is it all the toxicity of social media?
I, as a parent of 4 kids, I have 2 teenagers, and personally, I have no social media. My kids have decided to come off of social media. Just down to the simple fact is, football players are football players. They're young guys that work hard to get where they are. They don't deserve to be put in a place to be role models. Role models start at home. Parents should be role models. People like Gabby Agbonlahor right now talking about how much he loves his kids and how much they respect him. That's where it stems from.
No, I've got to agree with you. I feel that, listen, it'd be nice for footballers to be role models, but I agree, it's your parents, and there's some kids out there that have been really unlucky and maybe lost their parents. Who's around them that can be that role model? Do you know what I mean? Who's adult is around them that can help them make the right choices. Do you know what I mean? Like, even my son, Sam, like, he was finishing school, 16, and he wanted to go and do an apprenticeship, and I says, you got A's in your GCSEs. No, stay on and do your A levels, and you can maybe go to uni and maybe go and get a better job. He's looking at quick money of an apprenticeship because his mates are. I'm like, no. So you need to be a role model in that way, don't you, to give your kids the right pathway.
But that's just good parenting at the end of the day. That's nothing to do with these young football players that have worked hard to be where they are.
Sam, thank you very much for your call, and fair play to you getting the kids off social media. Really, not a lot of good can come from it at this moment in time.
It's all this on, Shebahn.
I know, it's scrolling.
TikTok's the one.
I know.
More than Instagram, it's TikTok. It's just like so reload.
I mean, I can't claim that I'm good at it either. I go down the rabbit hole on it as well, but I mean, nothing good is coming from it. Gareth Southgate said it's all at the moment about influencers and people not living real lives. Social media is not a real place to be.
Yep.
But I do actually think that footballers and big sports stars do have a place to be a role model because so many people look up to them.
Exactly.
You know, so that there's a catch that comes with that
Yes.
job. Who else have we got now? Scott on the line. Good morning, Scott. How are you?
Good morning, Scott.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing? You okay?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. I'm calling from Sweden. I live in Sweden now, so I'm just walking my dog.
Very nice.
Sunny day.
Lovely.
Cold. Yeah, no, I kind of agree with. Well, I don't kind of agree. I really agree with the last guy that really the role models. It starts at home. I mean, I've just dropped my kids off at school. You know, like my son, for example, he's 7, going on 8. He loves football. He's obsessed with Salah and all of these players. And yes, like it's cool that they're heroes, but ultimately, I've got to be the one that guides him through his lifetime, his role model. He's going to look to me when he's sad, when he has issues, all of this kind of stuff. But at the same time, as I point out to him, people like Salah, like, see how hard they work for what they want, you know, what they've got. They've worked their whole life to get where they are. So as long as, yes, they can kind of be role models, but you're the one that has to sort of be there all the time. Like, it's good for him to look up to Salah, because look at Salah, he's as professional as it gets. He works his ass off, you know. Oops, sorry. You know, he eats clean, all of this kind of stuff, but you're the one that's responsible for your kids, no one else. And also, it's not fair for a football player to have the responsibility to be a role model for your kids. Like, that's quite a lot of pressure for a young man, you know?
I guess with this conversation, I completely appreciate what you're saying. By the way, Scott, you make a very good point. I think we all agree in that a lot of it can start at home. But like, as you mentioned earlier on, Gabby, if there is, say, a broken home or problems at home, who do you turn to? You can look at the football player that you love the most, and sometimes that can have an influence over young kids, you know, and young brains that are developing, you know. So I think there is a wee bit of a part to play. On that note, by the way, there are so many good role models in football that sometimes don't get enough credit for the job that they do off the pitch as well. Marcus Rashford always get criticised off the pitch. I think he does a really good job in supporting those less fortunate than him. You know, Didier Drogba, Mesut Ozil, Neil Maupay, the things that he does, all of that kind of thing.
There's been loads of footballers that you wouldn't even know about what they've done.
Yeah,
and they
don't feel need to talk about it.
Exactly, and they've done it because they're just nice people. But being nice and doing nice things doesn't make the front pages. Yeah, it's not interesting. It doesn't get you clicks. Exactly. Yeah, people want the negative stuff,
and that's terrible, isn't it? It's a terrible society when we're in it like that. Yeah. Good morning, Jamie. Jamie, how are you today?
Really good, thank you.
Good morning, Jamie.
Good, Jamie. Thanks for calling us. What's your thoughts on this?
So my thought, I agree with everything people have said. Not enough footballers get enough credit for the stuff they do off the field. I think you named a few there, but there's tons that are going to universities, doing speeches, going to hospitals, doing all that support. I disagree slightly, though. I do think footballers are role models. However, Gabby kind of said, well, it's thrust upon you, which it is, and unfortunately that is the way. But I think we also lose. Some of these footballers are kids themselves. They're 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, like they're still children. I'm a teacher myself, and I'm looking at some of the kids I'm teaching, just think, do you know what, they do come from some broken homes, but role models fall in all sorts of categories. It needs to start at home, but when it doesn't, they're going to seek alternatives, which could be your footballers, teachers, other people. And I think as many people who could be role models is important, whatever walk of life. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and I just think we've lost that in our society. There's not a community feel that grows and develops these young people into mature adults. And I think what Gareth Southgate said is ultimately true. I've got lots of young people, when I speak to them, what do you want to do in the future? There's still people who want to be footballers, but actually the biggest one at the moment are YouTubers and influencers.
Yeah,
because
such a
they
pull.
see it as a quick buck, and it's really difficult when you're trying to guide them, because when I first got into teaching, loads of people wanted to be footballers, and I was saying, well, okay, but 98% fail, so what's your plan B, what's your plan C? Now they're saying, well, if I fail, I'll turn my phone on and go video some people or do whatever, and I can earn millions from subscribers. And I've had children I teach, a sixth former was on more money than I was as a teacher while he's doing his studies via YouTube channel he had, which was good luck to him. But that's now 6 years down the line. That's all gone. He hasn't got that anymore.
Yeah.
What has he got to fall back on? So yeah, I think the community needs to do an awful lot more. And I'll put the footballers in there, but we also need to understand some of them are still kids or very young men and women themselves.
Jamie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jamie.
Very well said this morning. 03717 223344. So many calls on this. Good morning, Sam. How are you, Sam?
Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, both. I'm very well, thank you. How are you guys?
Very
good,
well,
mate.
thanks. What would you like to say?
I think that footballers do have a big impact and are great role models, really. Personal experience, my son was very poorly and was treated for cancer in Birmingham Children's Hospital, and his favourite player was Alejandro Garnacho. And once we completed treatment and he had all clear, he won an award from Manchester United, and Alejandro presented it to him.
Amazing.
And it just completely changed his viewpoint on having cancer. I can't put it into words. You know, he would talk about it now, where he wouldn't beforehand. So they have a huge role. And he used to talk about Alejandro Garnacho. He used to ask, the doctors used to come in when he couldn't talk, when he was that ill, and he'd just look at me to kind of ask the consultants and different ones to come in, you know, to ask a question to them. You know, they'd say, who's your favourite player, being all United stuff, and he'd say, well, it's players played with Ronaldo and Messi, and just kind of watch them guess. So it's very important, and well, I think it is, and it's made a profound impact on our lives. So yeah, I just wanted to share that story, really. So United put it out, and there's a video of, you know, if you search Anderson, that's my son, and Garnacho, you can see the moment. So yeah, it's just
Amazing,
worth
Sam.
highlighting and sharing.
Oh, that's so emotional. Sam, how's your son doing now?
Yeah, he's doing really well, thank you. Just
Good.
dropped him off at school, and it's just a privilege and a pleasure to be able to do those normal things.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah. Amazing, mate.
Oh, fair play to you. I hope
Yes.
he's okay. And that's lovely. These stories are so nice. And as Sam says there, it's those emotional moments. You had it recently, Gabby, didn't
of
you?
course,
With your dad not keeping too
Yeah.
well and somebody getting in touch and saying that you're a positive role model
Yeah.
as well. So as Gareth Southgate says, and I take my hat off to him for speaking the way he did at this event, because he's highlighted a huge problem in society where kids are going down a dark road.
Yeah.
And this show Adolescence really brought everything to a head at the minute. And I think it actually will encourage change.
And you see what you said there, Southgate, as well, about being a good person. Just be a nice person.
Yeah, make good
Do you know what I
decisions.
mean? What I did is nothing that anyone else wouldn't have done, and we've got kids, Shebahn. Like people that have got kids, raise your kids to be nice people, do nice things. Do you know what I mean? There's a guy that come around my house. I know his dad the other day to fix something, and his head's screwed on. He wants to improve in life. He's like early 30s. He wants to get to the next level. Do you know what I mean? He wants to do things that, like, he's always dreamt of doing. Do you know what I mean? He's just a nice kid. That's what you want to raise, nice kids. And I messaged his dad afterwards saying, like, you've raised a really good son there.
Nice. And that's like the biggest compliment you can
Of
get
course, as a
sometimes,
parent,
isn't
yeah,
it? It really
definitely.
is.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.